We will now move on to our main segment of the podcast, and that's the must-have apps. And in this week, of course, like I said earlier on, we'll be talking about the music playing app. Austin, do you play music on your phone?
I play little music, but I don't like previously. Before YouTube Music would come out, I used to use the Google Play Music to play local music on my phone. But after that, I use Spotify and YouTube Music. So I don't use much of local music, but I stream the music from the cloud.
So you're more of a streamer than a local player. So it seems like most of us are streamers. I don't play music much, but there are some good local music playing apps that I know of. And of course, one of them is Omnia, Omnia. And of course, the Power Amp music app is another great one. I would like to, kind of demonstrate a little bit of that Omnia music before we talk about these music players, what they do and what they cannot do. I am already sitting on my Omnia music player, and when you open up the app, the interesting thing is that you can change what you want to be first. It has like 6 tabs. At the top, on the top right, you have like the more options. Then you have the search and then the cast. So going from right to left on the top, we have more options, search and cast. In other words, you can actually cast your music to some other speaker if you wanted to. On the top left corner, however, we have the navigate to top.
Albums. Navigate up. Button. Menu. Blind Android users podcast. Ads.
It saw my blind Android users ad in there because we had a little ad for our sponsors, one of our sponsors, and that shows up in there because I have set my albums as the first landing page. And so you could choose what you want to land on when you first launch the app. So we got
Blind Android users pod albums checked.
So as you can hear, albums is checked. You can choose whatever it is that you want to be the first one you land on out of the 6 tabs that we
Artists.
have. We have artists,
Folders.
folders,
Genres. Songs. Playlists.
and those are the things you can choose to have be your startup page. And I want us to look at the settings. There's so much on this thing that you can dig into and see what you like and customize it to your liking.
Play equalizer. Sound effect. Settings.
Let's look at the settings.
Omnia. Navigate up. Button.
Tapping on settings, here are the items we find.
Playback. Audio.
So under audio, we got
Playback.
playback,
Replay gain. Look and feel. Misc.
and those are the things that you find.
In list.
And there's not much for the app, but when you tap on each of these categories, like I said, then you'll see a bunch of customizations
Switch.
and things like equalizers and all of that, like most typical music playing
Library.
apps have. Now I am
Omnia.
back to the
Omnia.
main
Omnia.
UI, and I'm going to show you the tabs that we have. Some of those we already heard out there in the main navigational drawer. And this, of course, like I said, mine is the first thing is the albums. That's the one that is chosen by default by me. And so when I launch it, it is sitting on albums. And I don't have any music here. All I have is
Ads. Blind Android users podcast. 1 song. 1 of 3. In list. 3 items.
that's all I have. And then to the right of that, I have
ASR recordings.
an ASR recording.
Albums. Out of list.
So we got albums, and that's of course just like an inch from the top. Those tabs are found just below the top of the screen. So we got albums, and going left, or rather right from there,
Artists.
we got artists,
Folders. Genres. Songs. Playlists.
and playlists. That's the last one. And by the way, you can actually choose to swipe from right to left to navigate through these tabs. If you don't want to find and tap on any of those tabs, you could simply swipe in the middle of the phone from right to left, and that moves you from category to category. That is Omnia Music Player. It's nice. And once you click on something, you could tap on the play. And also, just at the bottom right of every category, like for example, if it were a song or if it's an album, for example, let's use the blind Android users ad thing that I was talking about. Slightly below where it says blind Android users is the more options. So every single one of these things will have that more options. And when you tap on that more options, it'll pop up things like, let me just show you what I'm talking about.
Ads, blind Android users, more, button.
So that's more.
Pop-up window, play, in list.
So you could tap on that to play.
Play next.
Play next.
Artist. Add to playlist. Add to queue. Edit tags. Delete.
And that's what you find in that more
Omnia.
options. And if I tap here just on
Ads,
blind ads,
navigate up, button.
at
out
the
of list.
bottom, it will tell you what it is.
Updraft plus WordPress plugin, blind Android users podcast.
And then to the right of that,
Previous,
you
button.
have previous,
Play, button.
play,
Next, button.
and next. That's it. It's a very simplistic app. And if you haven't played with Omnia, you should use it and see if you like it.